Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ah!
Donkey Jaw Projects!
What's up, y'all? It's Marshall Couture, also known as Complex in Hip Hop Circles, of DonkeyJawProjects.com. And today is day 100 for the second round of 100 days of making comics for 100 days in a row for a half an hour a day. Started by Mr. Kevin Cross himself and continued by many others. Kevin Cross is doing his round 4, I think, right now, as well, and just finally finishing the second round for myself. I started around. I don't know if it was in Kevin's first round. I think it was, because people started to do the hundreds. I think it was during Kevin's first round, and I was one of the first few to kind of jump on board after he kind of gave the go-ahead and was like, why don't you guys try doing it? And I was like, maybe I should. I'm making comics anyways. So I did. Got up to about 68 days or something, and I petered out. The thing is when I started, I wasn't really like gung-ho about doing the 100 days. I was just kind of more like, well, I'm making comics anyways every day. Why not just, turn it into a series, and join the hundreds thing. So did that. Unfortunately, it petered out a little bit. I got focused on other things. But I did retry it again. I don't know, like 6 months ago, however long it was, because it does take about 3 months, and I just did basically 2 rounds in a row. So it was a little more than 6 months ago, because I took, it was like 7 months, 8 months, I don't know. But so I did the first, that second time I tried, and I did succeed, missing only like 2 or 3 days. But I made up for those days. That's the way you should do it. You shouldn't really miss any days, but I missed a few days because I'm human, I guess. But so yeah, so I did that and successfully did that, and then right after I just continued. I was still trying to make this comic, so I just continued. And so I went, but I knew in the beginning of that hundreds days that I was probably going to take a break for Inktober. I wasn't sure 100%, but I said that to everybody. I may take a break for Inktober. I did. I ended up taking about a month and a half break to do Inktober, and just to take a break, I guess. And doing 200 days is a little harder, So I don't know. It is what it is. But I got back on the horse, and now I did miss a few days here and there, but today I was supposed to actually end on Christmas Day, which would have been okay, but it was Christmas time, and so a couple of those days ended up going by the wayside anyway. So it is what it is. Here I am, 2 days after Christmas. Hope you guys had an awesome Christmas and holiday season. Still got New Year's coming up, but yeah, hope that was good. And I need to learn how to take breaths while I'm talking here. So yeah, it's 2 days after, and this is my 100th day. Still haven't done my half an hour today, but I will be doing that as soon as I'm done recording this video. But let's see what I've done so far. So here it is in one big shot. I've done 5 pages so far within, the realm of the, first 2 rounds or whatever. I think I did most of these in the first 2 rounds. You've seen these. I took a long time trying to figure out how to do the building and get all those windows in there, and started the thing off. I even colored this page and put word balloons in it, and then I did this page and started coloring it. And then I realized, because my Wacom doesn't really work that well, that it's just going to be a pain to color, and maybe I won't color it. And then I was looking at my buddy Mike Villad's old comic, and I came to the decision, you know what, I think this whole 12 stories comic is going to be in black and white. So I'm proceeding now with black and white. So I did this page. Well, then I did these 3 pages basically within the time of the second round of 100 Days of Making Comics. Now, it seems like I've been plugging away, making good progress, and this is good progress. It's better than if I hadn't been doing it, probably, but, as others have said, maybe it's not the best way to go about it because you're only doing like a half an hour or whatever, so I don't know. But I got this board set up, so I got, I got 2 more pages left to go to finish it. But now I'll be going on to something else. But I will be continuing with this as well. So let me turn the camera around real quick. Actually, before I tell you what's next, I will do my half an hour. But I did want to make a comment about, how some people have been saying that they may not do 100 days again. Like, they've proven to themselves that they can work every day on their comic, and a half an hour really, when it comes down to it, isn't that much. So sometimes it's better to just kind of do it in chunks, or do it every day, but when you do have time to do it chunks, you can do that. And for me, this is how it kind of got a little weird for me, was some days I would find myself doing my half an hour, and then I, like with this last page, I knew I was coming up to the end of the page, and I knew that the next day or two I wouldn't be able to jump into the next page as easily, because when I start a new page, it's like I have to think a little more. I can't just like sit down and ink the page or draw the page. I mean, there's certain things that you do on a page, like sometimes drawing it, mapping it out. Like usually when I go on to the next page, I revisit the thumbnail and then I just rework it until I'm satisfied. So when I come to one of those days, I don't, like, a lot of times I do this while I'm sitting on the couch. I can sit and, hang out with my wife and not have to concentrate 100%. Like, I can have my attention divided a little bit. So it's easier to get things done. And that's when I have time, to fit in half an hour. So, so sometimes, like, when it takes me a little longer to get to the next page. And so what I would do, this is the whole point of it, is if I have only a half an hour, sometimes I would say, okay, I'm only going to do a half an hour today, even though I probably could go for longer, because I know that tomorrow I'm just not going to have the time to start a new page. So I know if I, just do a half an hour today, I'll have more time I can work on this page I'm working on right now. But if I just continue today, I'll probably end up finishing it and I'll have to go to the next page, and then what will I do? So you get into kind of these little scenarios like that as well, other things. And there's times where, like, I don't know, like, I literally just do the half an hour a lot of times, even though I could do more for other reasons. And it's weird, but I feel like if I didn't have that, like, oh, I know I got to complete the 100 days, I might have spent more than a half an hour more days. There was a lot of days that I did spend more than a half an hour. Sometimes it was an hour or 2 hours. But sometimes there's weird things that stop me from doing more than a half an hour. Probably my own fault, probably not a great excuse, but the point is to do it for 100 days in a row and to do a half an hour. So, that restriction has kind of been a tough one for me to deal with as I'm like recording 100 days of making comics. Now, I'm gonna continue every day working on projects and stuff like that, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. But you know, I feel like that I've gotten the habit, kind of like Gaz was saying, where it's pretty easy for me to just do that. Even when I took a break, I continued making art for every day, except for there was like a week or two in there where I didn't. But I don't know if I did or not. I don't remember to be honest. But yeah. So I'm gonna continue though, and just keep working on this. I'll tell you more about that after I'm done doing today's 100-day stuff. Blah blah blah. All right, guys, it's finished. It's done. 100. The day 100 is complete. So, what happened? Well, I actually took another day to get it done because I was about most of the way through my half an hour yesterday, and I was coming up short on ideas, wasn't liking what I was doing, and here, I guess I'll kind of show you. I just kind of went over my notes and stuff and was trying to like figure out what the story was going to be. Really didn't know what to do. I did a little scribbling. Was trying to kind of start with a theme to kind of build my story. And then I was just doing like some scratchy sketching of like this gardener who's like ornery and just not very happy of a person, and he lives in this like space station thing, working in the ecosystem thing or whatever. And I didn't really have much for good ideas. Then I ended up doing a kind of podcast with Mike Emirates, which you may have watched already. If not, it's up on my channel. And then Chris came on too, so we kind of made it this like anthology thing. It's a really cool episode. And then when I was done, things happened, had to make dinner and stuff, and never got back to doing that day's work. So I was kind of coming up short anyways, so I just continued today. But first I went to go see Star Wars, again, for the second time. And did some chores, was kind of inspired by that, did a little sketching. Actually, I'll show you, I did this sketch today for my She-Sember. There's Leia, I did recently. This is just a copy of another artist trying to learn. I did this the other day, I did this last night. And then I did this today after watching Star Wars. It's this character, what was her name? Zal Dines, and she's, an X-Wing pilot or whatever, just kind of a random obscure character that was in Rogue One. So I did that just kind of to warm up and get ready to work on my comic. And then I came up with this idea called the Hitchhiker. Originally, the idea was it was about a pilot of a ship, and I realized that it'd be more interesting to tell it from this hitchhiker's point of view. So basically, this hitchhiker, he's like in a bar or something, hanging out, and this pilot comes running into the bar, into the ship, looking for people who can help him to get his ship back up and running. He needs a certain resource that he doesn't know where to get it. And the hitchhiker knows where to get it, but in exchange for getting the resource, helping him get the resource, he is saying that the pilot needs to bring him to where he needs to go. So there's more to it, but I'm not going to spoil anything. So then I just, with an ink, just a regular pen, there's this certain pen I was using, but whatever, just with ink, I went in and came up with this design. I didn't even do any sketching beforehand. It just kind of came out. The jacket is kind of looks a little bit derivative of like Finn's jacket. I mean, I've been in Star Wars mode for the last couple weeks, so I'll probably be watching some more Star Wars today, possibly. So I've just been in Star Wars mode, so you know, it's kind of a little bit derivative. I may change the jacket up a little bit just to make it look a little less like Finn's jacket. The boots actually look a little unique, so that's cool. And then just like a basic, you know, traveler kind of outfit. He's not like anything crazy, but yeah, this character, I didn't want him to be human because I'm tired of drawing humans. I get a chance to draw some cool aliens, let's do it. Another thing I was thinking of is how do you come up with like all these different planet names and space, you know, alien race names, and then just the names of the characters. So I mean, this was me trying to come up with his name, the hitchhiker's name. So I don't know, I'm working on it. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. So yeah, that's what I did for my half an hour. I'll probably, hopefully, get to some more. I have to do a little cleaning, do the dishes and stuff. It's a mess. And then maybe I'll get back to watching some more Star Wars, or just be hanging out with the wife, doing whatever. Have some dinner. All that fun stuff. So yeah, what's next though? Like after the 100s, this is the 100th day. I'm done with round 2. What am I gonna do next? Well, I'm working on the anthology, obviously. I plan on finishing Lizard Brain. And then, of course, I'll continue with the 12 Stories comic. But, you know, I also have some other ideas for YouTube videos that I want to do, art videos and things like that. There's a lot of stuff I want to do. But what I'm going to do is, am I going to start another 100 Days of Comics for the anthology? No. No, I'm not. I'm going to actually start something else. I'm going to be focusing more on something else. I wasn't sure if I should tell you. I guess I'll just tell you. It's not like that big a deal, but I'm going to be working on learning how to do coding. There's a site called freecodecamp.com, and basically you go through their course and do some certifications and stuff, and at the end of it, a lot of people are able to get jobs in coding and stuff. So I need to make a career change. This seems like a good place to start. There's a lot of things you can do from this kind of skill set that I am excited about. I think it's just really cool to be able to create possibly programs or websites or apps or things like that, games, whatever it brings me to. I think it'll be fun to be able to do that. Plus, the oven's ready. Plus, you know, it'll help me to not, you know, have to work in like warehouses and things like that anymore. You know, I need to like find a career that's like an actual real career, right? So yeah, that's gonna be my main focus. And I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I think is really cool about it, and I think it will help me with creative stuff too, because you can obviously do a lot of creative things with coding and things like that. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm just gonna try my best to like really just complete all the courses and go through the process and take my time doing it and see where I come out on the end. And I think hopefully it'll help further my abilities to do more art and stuff, because there's just a lot more opportunities that come with this kind of thing than what I have been doing with my life. So yeah, I don't know. Here's to trying. God willing, that's what I'll be doing, you know. And but yeah, I mean, I plan on continuing working. I mean, my priority is to work every day on coding. That's going to be the priority, but I'm definitely, you know, going to be trying to fit in comics, you know, and drawing and art. I have a couple different series I want to do on my YouTube channel. as far as art and stuff goes. And I mean, I'm already tied to the anthology. Obviously, I'm helping head that up, so I'm going to be very much involved in that and doing my own comic and stuff for it. So yeah, that's what you can look forward to me. No more 100 days for a while. I need to focus on some things that are kind of responsibility driven and stuff. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this 100 days. I know it was like not so many videos and stuff. You can see my progress at donkeyjawprojects.com, and on all the social media, especially Instagram, I'm Donkey Jaw Projects. The YouTube channel is going to continue to have videos, and Facebook, Donkey Jaw Projects. That's the best ways to get at me. I am on like Twitter and stuff like that, but I just kind of throw, my art out there, but I don't really go on there too much. And Tumblr and other stuff. So yeah, but yeah, hopefully you guys are having an awesome, holiday season. New Year's is coming up, getting ready to work on the anthology, and I wish you all the luck and favor for the next year. And yeah, hit me up anytime. Peace out. 100 days, round 2, signing out. DonkeyJawProjects.com. Blah.